Here's an interesting one. The Jags have upgraded their offensive line. They signed Phillip Dorsett as a speed option, which probably means the end of Keelan Cole, I'm guessing. And Carlos Hyde signs as a backup, which is fantastic news for James Robinson.
And that's where I agree. I actually said that no real threat. James Robinson's locked inside the top 10 as I had him at their way too early rankings. And that was because I could have been wrong, and we could still be wrong. Like, I could still be wrong. They could still draft somebody and draft a pass catcher, which would be the bigger threat to James Robinson. But Carlos Hyde, outside of one season, hasn't been that big of a pass catcher in the NFL. And I'm not saying he can't catch the ball, but he just really hasn't been used that way. This is just to, keep James Robinson safe. Is Carlos Hyde going to get a bigger share than any Jaguars running back did last year? Sure, because I think if you add them all up, it was maybe 3% of the work. So James Robinson is not going to be seeing 95, 97% every single week. But you drop him down to 90% with a good offensive line, Trevor Lawrence and a better offense around him, and you can have the efficiency offset the lost touches percentage-wise. Carlos Hyde, again, not a threat to take James Robinson's job. Going from Jamison Crowder to James Robinson makes me want to keep saying Jameson. But yeah, James Robinson, this is good news. Unless, again, like I said, if they draft a pure pass catcher like a Tariq Cohen type out of this draft, then you get mildly concerned.
Yeah, so I like Robinson, and the way that I would look at it, it's not necessarily like a 95%, 90% split. If I can find a running back that garners 75% of his team's snaps in any given week, that guy is a stud running back, at least just based on volume. And he is going to be above that number, at least right now. Because Carlos Hyde's fine, and he's someone that you can play in a pinch to give like 7 touches to a game if you really want to. But we've just been down this road way too often, and it's not happening.
No, 100%. And, even in time with replacing other people, like with the Seahawks, there's like little blips here and there, but it wasn't really the guy performance-wise even. So I'm not worried about Carlos Hyde being here. I know people are drawing the dots or connecting the dots with Urban Meyer and back to Ohio State and all that type of stuff. But no, that's probably the familiarity that brought him over there, but it's not it. And I think somebody tweeted this yesterday. I completely forgot Carlos Hyde has been on this team before.
I don't remember him being on the Jags. When the hell was he on the Jags?
Somebody said he was with the Jags earlier. Maybe that person was wrong.
Maybe you're thinking of Fred Taylor.
No, they said what did he say? I'm trying to find the tweet. He was with Jacksonville in 2018. Cleveland and Jacksonville in 2018. See?
That doesn't exist in my memory at this point.
Since
then he's been on what? Kansas City, Seattle, and Houston?
No, just Seattle and Houston.
Wasn't he on Kansas City at one point? Or did they let him go before the year?
I think now you're mistaken.
Yeah,
enough teams
just all these backup running backs. But the point was going to be that this is good news for James Robinson. Phillip Dorsett doesn't really move the needle for me, but it's like, I guess they threw cold water on the DJ Chark trade, right?
That was never a thing. Apparently that was somebody out there who had like predicted 1 out of 50 like signings a couple years ago, and then tweeted out the Hunter Henry or the Jonnu thing. I think it was the Jonnu thing. Tried to predict that, and he was off on the money, but he like took it as a victory lap. So then he tweeted out that DJ Chark was in a trade likely to happen for Orlando Brown and picks involved, and Khan came out and was like, that's a bunch of crap. So that's all you need to know.
I mean, I like DJ Chark, but I like that trade. That was a good trade, I think, for Jacksonville and for Baltimore.
And I think that's what he is. He's trying to make sense out of it. That would have been miserable for DJ Chark fantasy wise.
Sure, but I think just for both teams in like real life, I think that was a great move.